Everything is broke. Look, everything's broke. Everything's laying on the ground. Look at that. It's like a tornado came through here. Look, every yard is just fucked up in this whole neighborhood. Look. Look at this yard. Look. Look at this. Plug.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Zach. So in this video, I'm going to react to one of my very first videos. I apologize that the audio is not completely perfect. It's my first time doing this setup with my microphone in public at a place talking in front of people, but we did it anyway, so let's go. And I thought I would do something funny. I'm going to react to one of my very first videos that I posted in September 2019. If y'all didn't know, which maybe you probably don't because I hid this, I did a bunch of videos before I did make money mowing. I had named myself Lawn Service Consulting, and then I posted a bunch of videos and I didn't really like them, so I put them all on private, and then I came up with the name Make Money Mowing, and then I restarted my channel and I posted videos again, but then it took off. So little tip for you, sometimes the first time it doesn't work, it's okay, just go back and regroup and do it again better. So that's what I did, and you'll see some of my videos right now, but I'll react to my very first one, and let's talk about what I talked about in the video and compare to how I think about stuff now. And I don't even watch these because they make me cringe and they make me die inside. I don't like watching my own videos. I don't even watch the videos I post nowadays. I never ever watch them, but we're gonna do it right now for fun, so let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Zachary Guinea here with LawnServiceConsulting.com. I'm here to bring you my 3 personal biggest mistakes that I consistently went through on a daily basis with my lawn service that almost costed me my lawn service, that almost caused me to just say, screw this, I'm going to go get a job because this is stressing me out way more than I like it to. Even though I'm making great money, it's just not worth the headache every single day, and I'm tired of it. So I'm here to show you those 3 mistakes, what I did to fix them, and how you can avoid them as well. So the first mistake that was always messing with my head, causing me stress, was using the wrong helpers. In the beginning, I would work by myself. It was doing 1, 2, 3, 4 yards a day when I was just starting to gain traction, when I was starting to pick up customers. I started using my friends, my close friends, my best friends in the middle of that, because I started picking up maybe say 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, and I wasn't used to doing that by myself. So I would use my buddies, and the majority of them were awesome. I had a great time working with them. I got to pay my friends while they got to make extra money. I got to produce more work. I get to gain clients. It was a win-win for everybody all across the board. But some of my friends, they just straight up sucked. They would show up, they would complain about the work. They would be like, almost like they thought that we were just hanging out and it was just a joke. But really, this is my business, this is my livelihood, and they're not taking it seriously. They would complain about the labor. They'd say, it's too hot outside, or we pull up to the yard and they'd be like, we're gonna mow that? We're not gonna mow a field. I'm just talking about like a corner lot or something. But they would be complaining, and it would just be stressing me out to the point where I decided I had enough of it. I got rid of my friends that were negative. I still have great friends that help me, and they still help me to this day. But they're shitty friends that I dealt with that I'm glad I'm not dealing with no more, because my business has been so much smoother. I've been making more. I stand by all that 100%. Some friends suck, some are cool, but a lot of them suck and they don't take it serious. So this one, I still agree with old Zach from 3 years ago. More money and less time without those people. So after my friends, I posted Craigslist ads to get other helpers. I thought it would be better. I thought because they'd be on Craigslist that they'd be more efficient and more experienced. But in my opinion, a majority of those workers were twice the headache. I was hanging out with 40-year-old men in the passenger seat of my truck. It would just be me and them. I have no idea where they came from. I have no idea what their true intentions are. I don't know if they're going to rob me, if they're going to rob my equipment when I'm not home. Some of them did rob my equipment. There were just so many variables that came into play that I wasn't ready for. These guys, maybe they have a family, maybe they have a lot more on the line than just themselves. They have to feed kids, they have to provide for a wife, they got to pay for their house. So they'd be like, they'd be begging me, or they'd even be telling me to have them work more. They'd be telling me to give them more hours, and I didn't even have that much hours to give them. Or they'd be showing up drunk or drugged out, and I'm 100% serious. They'd be drugged out. A lot of the labor force out there. Real shit story. I had a worker that was a laborer that my parents used to use. He lived in my neighborhood. He wasn't that good of a worker, but he was just always there because he lived in my parents' neighborhood down the street. And he could walk to work because a lot of our other workers they wouldn't show up. So he would come to work, and then he was one of my very first real workers after my friends. And in the morning, he would make me go buy him a twisted tea from the gas station in the morning because he'd be like, my stomach hurts, I need one. And then I was a pussy basically, and I was like, all right, if that will make you work good. So I'd buy him a twisted tea every morning, and then we'd work. And then by 12 o'clock, I would be so tired of him, and I just try to finish the day early. Sometimes I'd even send him home, and I go finish the yards by myself for the rest of the day. So funny little story there. Don't be a pushover. Stand up to these dudes or just walk away from them. Don't buy them twisted teas in the morning. It's not good. They're addicted to meth or to painkillers, or they're just alcoholics. They'd show up to my house smelling like alcohol at 8 in the morning, and you can already imagine how that went. It would just, and that pretty much goes for any labor. Like a lot of this grunt labor, a lot of them are drug addicts, and they're just making cash day to day, just barely enough to scrape by to get high later on. And it is what it is. Don't make the same mistake that I did. Choose the right workers. Don't choose bad workers that are just there. Choose the ones and vet them out and pick good people. It's a shitstorm all over the place. They were inconsistent with their work. Sometimes they do a good job, sometimes they do a bad job. I would have to mentally babysit and look at their work every single time they did a yard. If I was weed eating and they were mowing, I would have to go and look to see if they messed anywhere up, if they fling rocks at cars, if they were shooting grass into the mulch beds, if they were leaving gates open. There was just so much headache that came with having these type of workers that it was burning me out, and I decided I had to make a change. And also, I don't want to keep interrupting, but one more thing. When I made these videos, and even when I make videos nowadays, like I'm always with the solo operator mindset. But the older I get, and now that I have a baby on the way, I'm starting to think bigger. And maybe I'll experiment with having workers again this year, whether for Make Money Mowing, my online business, or for my actual lawn care business, I might have workers again. Either way, my attention is split between the two, so I'm still thinking about what I got to do. But I'm not opposed to having workers. I think having workers is good, and I think maybe it's hard to be a leader, but it's a good thing because you can provide jobs and work for people. It's cool to make money for yourself, but that's just like level one. And if you're at level one, then you can't help but think level two, which is getting workers. So I'm not opposed to it. I actually might look into it this year, just in case you're on the same level as me. And don't get it wrong, you could have great workers. You could have people that make your job a lot easier. You just have to take the time to screen many people because majority of people won't be the person you're looking for. You have to screen them, put it all on the line that this is what I'm giving you, this is what you're going to give to me, and just make it all. That's so funny. You can see all the videos I watch on the right now. I'm totally exposed for the music and videos I watch. Laid out to where you guys agree on the labor and the money, and it will all work itself out. But I rushed into it, and I was just hiring the first people that was texting me back. So what I did personally to get rid of that problem from my head was I decided to work by myself. And for all of 2019, I've been working all by myself. Maybe once every couple months, I'll have a buddy help me if I'm sick or if it's rain delays. But I model my business to do everything by myself. I pick very specific small yards that take me 30 minutes on average to do a $50 job, so I can always hit my $100 an hour mark every time. So I decided to work by myself. You could scale up your business. I've had people working for me where I'm just watching them, but in my opinion, for my goals, I'm okay with doing the work for now, where I can make $100 on average, and there's just so much less headache. Sure, you could maybe scale it up and have 1 crew, 2 crews, 3 crews, but that's not what I chose to do, and that's for personal reasons. So to combat that problem, I would say be okay with doing the work for now. And if you want to have helpers, if you want to have people doing everything, just take your time, screen them properly. Organic friends, organic referrals are the best versus just posting an ad and getting random people coming in. If you have a good worker and he knows somebody or one of his family members is also. I kind of agree with that. I think organic workers, like if you find a good worker, most likely he knows a good worker because birds of a feather flock together. But you can still find a random worker from an ad that's good. But also, if you find a good worker, just food for thought. Ask if they know anybody who wants to work, because if you find one good worker, hopefully they know good people, and you could have 2 good workers or 3, right? So, on the same page as him, then you could take on his friend or his family member. But just be careful who you surround yourself with, because a lot of people are negative out there, and a lot of them are drugged out too. So the first mistake was using the wrong helpers. To fix that, just be careful who you pick, and if it doesn't work out, let them go immediately. Don't let them keep babying and toying with your mind. Just let them out and just put them on until you can find some, or put a new person on until it all works out. Um, the second mistake that was causing me super amounts of stress and making me question if I want to keep doing this was not charging enough for my services. I don't know if it's just me or if it's most people, but I have confidence issues when I give you a price. If I see your yard and I'm about to give you the price, if you're the customer, I'm about to give you the price, I will say the minimum amount needed versus the amount that I feel like it's worth. Like if I feel like it's a $50 yard, in my head I feel like they're not going to say yes to $50, so I'll tell you 35 or 40. Or if
I used to do that. I don't do that now. So if you're doing that now, just realize maybe you have to just to get the ball rolling because you don't have the leverage to quote super high. But just know that's the journey. You start maybe giving conservative quotes, maybe even on the lower side, just to get the business and experience. And it's more important than the money. It's just getting in these neighborhoods. And then once you're in a few neighborhoods, you can start increasing your prices. But nowadays, no, I charge a lot now, and I think you should too.
I'm doing your yard already and you have shrubs that need to be trimmed, in my head I'll be like, that's a $60 hedge trim right there. But I feel like you're not going to say yes to it because I'm just not confident. So I'll tell you $30, and I start kicking myself in the butt doing all this work that I feel like I underpriced. And there is no amount of money that you could be making if you feel like you underpriced it. Even if you're making $1,000 in a day, if you know in your heart it was a $2,000 job and you just took it because it was 1,000 and you didn't want to get denied, then that will never work. That will not sustain, and your business will crash to the ground. You have to charge what you feel like is worth your time, and always account that it's going to take longer than you think. If you're going to do a shrub job, there's millions of little leaves that are going to fall down that you got to blow and rake and blow and rake, and then you got to put them in a bag, and then you got to put them in the trash can, or you got to haul it and you got to have that in your truck for the rest of your day. And you got to make sure it looks perfectly circular or square. It takes a very, very technical amount of time to do that type of shrub work, and it's always more than you think it is. If you see a yard and you think it's going to be 20 minutes, it's really going to take 30 minutes because you're.
By the way, I was 26 in this video. I was single and I had short black hair. Now I'm 29. I'm married to a beautiful wife. She's about to have a baby soon, in like, not soon, like 7 months, and I have blonde hair. But I think I talk the same.
Your brain
Just like boring, monotone, quirky, funny, interesting, like cadence.
thinks of the least amount of work and time needed, but realistically, to do a good job and to make it look right, it's going to take a little bit more than you think it will. So just charge what you're worth, have a minimum for yourself. My minimum to come out to a yard is $50. That's it. There's no arguing or talking or having a cup of tea about it.
And I was talking that shit back then. $50 back in 2019, that's like $2,000 in today's terms.
If you want me to show up to your house with my truck and my equipment in my uniform on a Thursday, you're going to be paying me $50.
Oh yeah, and one more thing too. I got this from a comment that somebody commented on another lawn care video a long time ago, but they said, say if you pull up to a customer's yard and then it takes you 10 minutes to do the yard or 20 minutes, and then the customer's like, what the heck, that was so fast. They feel like it wasn't worth the money. Just tell them, maybe it was 10, 20 minutes to you, but that was 4, 5, 6 years of me learning how to do this, of learning the best tools, learning the best patterns, learning how to use the tools. My truck and my trailer and my equipment cost like probably, I don't know, depending on your truck, it could cost like between $10,000 and $50,000, maybe $70,000, and be like, so it's not just a 10, 20 minute mow, it's a lot more. It's all the time and all the labor that I put into it, plus all my equipment overhead. Like, but if the customer doesn't get it, then it's okay, just don't work with them, because you're not going to make them understand it. But most customers will understand that and they'll be okay with it.
I would have people tell me, oh, I just want my front yard cut for $25 or $20. And I used to take those, but then you realize that cuts into your hourly rate because you're taking time to go out of your route to go to that house to make $20 when you could just tell them, sorry, I have a minimum for myself. Keep it simple, keep the emotion out of it, and you could focus on getting customers that are matching your hourly rate. And that was another thing that just completely changed how much money I was making when I was able to stick to my minimums. So the second mistake was not charging enough. What you can do to fix that is say exactly what you feel like it's worth and say it confidently, and you'd be surprised at how much work you'll get versus just shakily, nervously telling you, I think it's worth $50. Be like, no, your yard's going to cost $50. And if they say no, then all right, thanks for letting me come out. I'm going to go home now. So charge what you're worth and realize that sometimes, if not all the time, it takes a little bit longer than you think it will to do these services such as mowing, shrub trimming, putting down fertilizer.
I really hope I didn't mess this audio up because I'm recording my microphone and I'm playing this, recording that, and I'm just thinking, I hope this is, I'm having fun. I hope this doesn't mess up the audio.
Tree trimming, putting down mulch, whatever it may be, it's always a little bit more than you think it will be. The third mistake that, and I think this is the most important one, that
I don't remember what it was.
almost cost me my business was not saving enough money. Personally, I went from making bi-weekly paychecks of $300 to making a couple years later $500 in a day in 4 to 5 hours. The money exponentially grows, and you will be making a lot more than you would ever have imagined doing lawn services. But if you're not saving an equal amount, and if you don't have a budget you're sticking to, you will blow through that money so fast, and you will have months where you can make $7,000 in March and October, the busy months where everything's growing. I've made $7,000 by myself, and I've even produced $9,000 with a helper in the past. But I look at my savings compared to that time last year, and it's the same, if not less, which is mind blowing. When you're making a lot more money, and this doesn't even relate specifically to lawn services, this is just any business or any job that you get. If you start making a lot of money after not making very much money in the past, your lifestyle will increase little by little. Maybe you'll go out to eat a little bit more, you'll buy a little bit more clothing, you'll go to the movies more, maybe go on like a day trip or a weekend trip or a week trip somewhere. You will start slowly spending money more to the point where it doesn't even matter if you're making 10 grand a month because your lifestyle is inflated. You're not saving
Lifestyle creep.
enough, and therefore you're spending
I was explaining lifestyle creep without knowing that there was a term for it already.
all this time, all this hard-earned effort, making money, just blow it away. To fix that, budget yourself. Have goals that you hit every single month, or that you try to hit every single month, in terms of your gas, your groceries, if you buy clothing, if you have other expenses,
I was a financial YouTuber before there were financial YouTubers.
is miscellaneous,
Who was doing this in 2019?
is if you have other incomes, just keep everything on
A lot of people. I'm just kidding.
on a budget. I use an app called Good Budget on the iPhone. It's free, and I've been doing it every single day since October. I've kept track of every penny I spent since October of last year, and it's been great at helping me keep on track and not blow all my money on random shit that I don't even remember what I spent it on because it just disappeared. Spend that money on investing in yourself, on learning new skills or books, or if it's going to make you happy, then buy it. Like, I love having a gigantic whiteboard. I'll spend $50 on a 4 foot by 4 foot whiteboard because I like writing.
Whiteboards are still cool. There's 2 whiteboards I recommend. You can get a standing A-frame that is kind of like what a teacher would use. That's really cool because sometimes it's annoying to put it on your wall. And if you're going to film yourself, it's easier to have it on a stand than on a wall, in my opinion. Sometimes, because you can move it around with the sunlight if you don't have lights or whatever. Also, there's these cool little, they're like rolled up whiteboards that you could just put on your wall and cut it with scissors. It's like a roll of paper. It's a roll of whiteboard. You should look it up. It's like $10-$20. You can have your wall covered in whiteboards, and you can just stick it and take it off.
My goals on it, and I like writing my daily habits, my streaks, whether I'm trying to stop drinking or smoking or something. I'll have a big old check mark each day I stop something. You know exactly what will make your life better, and you know what will provide no value to your life when you're spending money on all these things. So just in your head, before you purchase something, keep in mind that, is this going to get me closer to my future goal or whatever it is, or am I just getting a dopamine hit by buying this right now on Amazon Prime? Because I buy so much shit on Amazon Prime, good and bad, but I know I could live with a lot less. And a good quote that I heard that stuck with me is, when you have a lot of things have you. So the third thing is not saving enough money when you start producing money with your lawn care services, especially if you're working with me, because I will help you make money fast. I will help you generate customers, get yards, and you'll be making...
I still will.
You could be making a couple thousand in the first couple months, or you could be making 5,000 in a few months. It's not hard. It's just you need help, you need guidance, and I can help you do it. But if you're not saving that money, then you are going to be screwed, and it's going to...
I should say it's not complicated. It could be hard in the beginning, especially when it's hot, when you have a lot of work, then you're trying to figure out how to do on the spot. You're trying to manage these problems that come up for the first time. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. It's more specific and better.
Is going to go by, and you're going to have the same amount of money. So just budget yourself and be prepared, because when you start having a lawn service, it's a great business. Grass is always growing. You could charge whatever you want. I mainly do mow and goes, which is a mow, trim, edge blow. But you could do mulch, you could do rock beds, you could do tree trimming, you could do fertilizer, you could do weed sprays. You could upsell in a yard and make a $50 yard a $300 stop in an hour or two. But that's just all on how you structure yourself. And if you're working with me, if that's your model, then we'll focus more on landscaping. Or you just want to be simple and just make $100 an hour with a lot less overhead and stress, then you could just do mow and goes like I do. But the third thing is just be prepared to be making a lot of money. So be prepared to budget yourself and make sure that you're not blowing all the money. So that's it for this video. Go ahead and visit my website, lawnserviceconsulting.com, so you can get a little bit
I don't think that website's active anymore.
more information on myself and my services and how I can help you grow your business to where you're ranked on top of Google like I am right now. Cool. Have a good day.
Yeah, so that was my reaction. Overall, I agree with most of the points. I would say 97.4% I agree with. Some of them I would just update, but for the most part, same shit. So hope y'all enjoyed that. Maybe I'll do another one if you want me to, just let me know. And I'm gonna now edit this video and finish my day so I can go have lunch. Peace out. Love you guys. MakeMoneyMowing.com. Get a hold of me. Let's build a business. Gang, gang.